one simple hack for more arm growth. This has massively helped me grow my arms, and it's going to do the same thing for you. It starts with redefining how we're thinking about progressive overload. For most of us, progressive overload means being able to do more weight or more reps over time, getting stronger. And this is going to be the primary mechanism of muscle growth. We're mostly in agreement there. However, what I've seen to be more potent in leading to muscle growth is not just gaining strength within a fixed number of sets, but increasing your overall work output. What does that mean? Your work output in any given session. In this case, we're talking about the arms. For the triceps and the biceps. For the triceps individually, it's going to be the number of reps you did with the weight times the sets. Okay, so let's say for your triceps and biceps, you're going to superset them because that's the best way to do it. You're going to use an extended rest time. That's also going to help you to maximize your strength gain and your overall workout output. Let's say you start with 50 pounds of whatever exercise. Let's just say it is dumbbell skull crushers behind the head. 50-pound dumbbell for 10 reps for 5 sets. All right, so that's 50 times 10 is 500, times 5 is 2,500. So that's your work output for your triceps. Let's just assume that it's the same for your biceps. You're doing standing barbell curls, 50 pounds, 10 reps each set, 5 sets, 2,500 total output. Now, to me, what I've seen is that the main driver of growth over time is increasing this big number, that total workout output. I've experimented by trying to increase an individual set number, meaning I want to be able to dumbbell tricep extend behind my head more weight for more reps in any given set, maybe in a small number of sets. And what I did is I sacrificed the number of sets. I dropped the number of sets down so that I could increase the weight and reps in, let's say, 2 or 3 sets rather than 5 or 6. The problem is, if I do, let's say, the peak that I was able to do for the dumbbell tricep extension is the 120-pound dumbbell for 2 sets of 14 reps, whatever that equals here. That's that number. I've gotten stronger, so I should have gotten bigger. But what happened was my muscle gain stayed the same, if not decreased. Conversely, when I switched to a little bit of a lighter weight, let's say more recently I'm doing the 110 for 12 reps across 6 sets, that work output is much higher. The number is much bigger. And I'm seeing this number of work output to be much more predictive of overall muscle growth rather than an individual set of strength gain increase, okay? And so the practical application of this is that when you first start out, you should keep your volume fixed. So there's these 3 variables you can change: the weight, the reps, and the sets. And I think you should view them as all equally impactful to muscle growth. They're all going to equally impact the workout output, and that's directly linked to muscle growth. Let's just assume, okay, hypothetically. I think that's the best way to think about it from my experience. In the beginning, you should keep your sets fixed. You're just starting out, you should do 5 sets, let's say, supersetted, 5 rounds, triceps, biceps. Use a 3 to 5 minute window in between each exercise. Hit your triceps, rest 3 to 5 minutes, hit your biceps, rest 3 to 5 minutes. That's 1 round. You should do at least 3 to 6 rounds of that once a week starting out. And keep your sets fixed if you're a brand new beginner, and you will be able to increase the reps and the weight over time. You'll see from week to week, you'll be able to add additional reps, you'll be able to add additional weight. I recommend roughly the 10 to 15 rep range. With any given weight, once you can get 15 reps, bump the weight up to the next increment from 50 to 55, let the reps drop back down to maybe 10, 11, or 12, and then continue to chase reps each time. The thing is, if you're an experienced lifter, you will have noticed that this plunderous time of gains and progressive overload working within a fixed amount of volume only lasts for so long. And then eventually you plateau out. You keep showing up and you push to the maximum, but you just don't get stronger. Or it slows down to a very slow drip where, maybe once every 6 months you can up the weight and you're adding a rep here or there, very rarely. A lot of times it goes down, back up. It's just almost stops and it's barely increasing. What most people do at that point is conclude that they're at their natural genetic limit or their genetic potential. This is the most common view of genetic potential. You're past your newbie gains, you've been lifting for a long time, I'm just not getting stronger, it doesn't matter what I do. Coming back to our equation of weight, reps, and sets, we've maxed out the weight and the reps, keeping sets roughly fixed. But if you start adding sets to your workout and adding more workouts frequency, your weekly output number is going to go up. So again, to use the example of 50 pounds for 10 reps for 5 sets is 2,500. Let's say you get that up to 100 pounds for 10 reps for 5 sets for 5,000 over maybe 6 months to a year. But now that number is stuck. It's not going up. What you should do is increase the amount of sets that you do in a workout in a week. So instead of just doing 5, do 8. And that's going to give you 5 times 10, 100 times 10, 1,000. So it's an extra 3,000 onto that number. Additionally, you can progressively add more frequency. So instead of training just once a week, twice a week, or maybe even 3 times a week. So that doubles that work output number. A lot of math, a lot of numbers I'm throwing at you. I've just noticed that similar with legs as well. So this could apply to all muscles, but particularly with arms, because they're a small muscle, increasing the work output is the way to go in terms of stimulating more muscle growth and supersizing your seps past their genetic potential. That's what I recommend, the way that you should look at it. And I think there is a lot of additional growth that people don't see. And because the muscles are small, the bis and the tris, you can handle putting more workout load or work output on them by increasing your volume and increasing your sets. And I would progressively add a set, and then do that for a month or two, add another set, slowly ramp it up, and then train twice a week. And if you want to get more gains, then hit the arms 3 times a week. It depends what's going to work for your lifestyle. But generally speaking, I've seen this work output number to be a way more significant driver of muscle growth in the arms because the arms can recover from higher amounts of volume and frequency as you build up to it over time. And again, just focusing on getting stronger within an individual set did not lead to more progress in my case. And I think particularly with more common lifts, like let's say bench press, what's your 1 rep max? How much can you bench is what people care about. And I think there would be this connection of, even what's your 5 rep max or your 3 rep max. I think if your goals are strength, that's appropriate language and that's appropriate perspective. But if your goal is muscle gain, the real question should be, what is your maximum workout output? Which is harder to know, but that would be, let's say you're strong and you can bench 315 for 5 reps. But you can only do that. You only do that for a couple sets. You work up to it. You do maybe 2 top sets or something, and then that's it. For that specific movement, your work output's not that high. Whereas if you went down to 275 and did 6 to 8 sets of that using an extended rest time so that you can continue to get quality work in, if you don't rest long enough, the fatigue cascades from one set to the next too much where you limit your work output. That's why I think using an extended rest time, I've seen it to be highly correlated with more muscle growth compared to shorter rest times because it allows you to maximize this workout output. And the longer I've been training, the more I've seen muscle gain correlated with higher workout outputs. And at this point, I strongly believe that this is like the primary, up to this point in my experience, the primary thing that drives growth outside of all the other structures and things that you're doing. The one small caveat in there is that I do believe if you don't train to maximum intensity, hitting failure or very close every set, that the effectiveness of increasing the workout output won't be as high. I think you should take all your sets to extreme intensity. And that's, again, why the rest window being extended is really high because you need to give your body time to recover. And in the case of arms, that's why supersetting back and forth is really effective. For anybody who's familiar with the channel, you'll understand this clearly. If you're new, when you hit the triceps, the biceps are resting, and vice versa. So I do my first set of triceps, I rest 3 to 5 minutes. I do my set of biceps, I rest 3 to 5 minutes. The triceps have been resting in both of those rest windows and when the biceps have been getting worked. So that's at least 6 to 10 minutes plus of recovery. So the next set you come back, that muscle is going to be able to do a similar number of reps with the weight. And the reps will still drop a little bit as the sets go on, but not nearly as much if the rest time was shorter. So that's how you should think about your progressive overload for muscle gain specifically. And divorcing yourself from getting really focused on 1 rep max or what's the max weight you can do, which I did, I don't think that's nearly as productive in terms of building muscle. I think that is way more productive in terms of gaining strength within an individual lift for one go. But if you want muscle gain, the workout output of set weight times reps times sets is what you should think about and what you should focus on, and finding ways to increase that number, I think, is going to be your best bang for your buck. If you want to do any of my arm courses or my individual arm workouts, you can check out my site. I've got a number of different courses there that primarily are structured around optimizing this workout output number. And then I'm uploading all of my recent arm workouts over the past several months, every individual workout. So you want to do the exact workouts I'm doing, you can. If you're interested in that, thanks for watching. Go make some friggin' arm gains. Peace.